Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very much of a wonderful, great, blessed morning indeed, guys. Guys, I'm so superly grateful for you guys viewing and watching my support from shorts and from TikTok and from long videos and from long videos in YouTube as well, and from those of you who are also subscribing as well, and as well as commenting as well. It completely means a lot to me. May you all have a blessed day and a very much quiet day, have a wonderful, great day, and a blessed, great day, and a very much of a beautiful day. As you can see, guys, today's sky is very quietly beautiful, but there's still a bit of a cold breeze of wind that's still quietly still present within the air as well. But regardless of that, guys, I'm so superly grateful for your guys' support. Completely means the universe to me, and may you have a blessed and grateful, beautiful day and an evening and an afternoon as well. Despite that, I'm still very quietly grateful for your guys' support and still very quietly, frankly, still happy that you're still walking with me on my journey, which quietly, superly means a lot to me. May God bless you all, and may God also protect you and stay with you on your guys' journey as well. And may you stay happy and stay true to yourselves and stay strong. On today's episode, we're to speak about a very super strategist of a super villain named as Green Man, who is an associate, who is a super villain, and also as well as an associate, and also as well as a secret agent of a powerful, sinister, ancient secret society of super villains known as the Founders and of the Order of the Five, which he helps them to further their goals and their long-term plans in a process to try to remove and wipe out the universal heroes which pose a threat for their future plans and for their long-term plans in the process as well, in the process to furthering their ultimate goal and their plans and their sinister plans for controlling humanity and the sacred universe and the known universe as well. Despite that, Green Man is a very super strategist and a very sadistic ally and a very sadistic agent, and a very formidable and a very formidable foe of the universal heroes, highly very skilled in strategist and very highly optimistic with his plans and with his goals, and very sadistic and cruel and very much ruthless and very much quietly funny, and yet too dangerous not to be underestimated, and very much quietly too powerful not to be taken lightly. He craves power and he craves control, and he uses his resources and connections to give that power and his resources to the founders and to the members of the Order of the Five, so that these organizations might empower themselves in order for them to furthering their long-term plans and their goals in the process, so they can remain the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of the sacred universe, and especially of humanity, and within the sacred world, and within the sacred world's wars and conflicts, and within the sacred world's wars, conflicts, and events in a process, so they can be the ones controlling the narrative of the war and also the sacred world's powerful, greatest cosmic powers and sacred powers, so they can be the ones literally ruling them and also controlling them in the process. So let's get to it. In Green Man's early life, Green Man began his criminal career within the early years of 2010, where he discovered that he could use his greater skills as a very much of a sadistic criminal to orchestrate events and wars and all of that, where he helped evil gang criminals to start wars against other gang criminals in order for them to fight against each other, so they can easily dominate each other's territory, so that they can exactly excuse me so that they can exactly so that each of them can exactly dominate each other's territory, so that there can only be one ruler dominating one of the other's rulers' territories and control. Through that end, Green Man exactly benefited more power and more control throughout the streets, but his plans were quietly foiled and thwarted due to the interference of the members of the United Heroes, who are able to exactly swallow the conflict and able to put the criminal leaders behind bars and jail and behind the human cells, while Green Man's involvement remained unknowns to them. Over the following years, Green Man exactly kept himself as he began his criminal activities once again by trying to stir up huge criminal wars and conflicts within within humanity's regions, so that he can exactly gain power and control and ferocity throughout many cities. But his attempts were quietly foiled and his plans were quietly thwarted in the aftermath of the operation, when Eagle Man exactly realized that Green Man was the one behind the conflicts in the very later years, and they exactly after all went after him, apprehended him, and after all exactly sentenced him to the Astor prison, which is a supernatural super villain prison designed to house super criminals and one of the worst forces of the entire known universe and of the rest of the sacred universe, which is a very powerful, formidable, sacred prison which is unknown to humanity, and it also quietly remains that way to be unknown. Despite that, Freeman spends the most of his entire lifetime in the Astor prison with other powerful, sadistic, evil criminals and very dangerous super criminals and super villains, trying to also to get their aid and their respect, but they quietly actually viewed him as a non-powerful super criminal, despite that he was quietly pissed and very much not quietly happy with that. Regardless of that, Freeman exactly kept up his appearance as he plotted a very much of a secretive escape within the Astral prison, so that he can actually escape to further his own plans and his own sinister goals in the aftermath as well. In the early years now, Greenman was able the members of the founders were able to send one of the secretive operatives within the Astral prison to remain to create a super communication with Green Man in order for him to become a super operative, and Green Man happily obliged to become the founder's operative and highly super strategist, which is what he mostly agreed on, which he quietly knew that it would actually benefit him in the process, and he was very happy about that, and very sadistically happy that his reputation would actually begin taking its rightful place, and that he'll actually be seen as a true super idealistic criminal and a very formidable foe for the universal heroes as well in the process. On the 25th of February, Green Man exactly went into the great sacred great superhuman facility within a great city, while Ghostmaster and the other people were quietly creating a powerful mob, or quietly created a powerful mob in order to find out exactly what is happening with the world systems and all of that. Greenman exactly took the liberty in order to sneak inside the facility, and in order for him to grab a piece of the greater powerful of the greater excuse me of a greater powerful ancient crystal that is quietly highly begin to singly regenerate from its lost battle from being exploded due to Black Sport trying to destroy it out of spite with the Universal War Heroes that was quietly actually in battle, and also quietly in war with them as well. On that very particular day, he exactly arrived with the crystal in a very much of a powerful, highly tech suitcase, which he presented to the members of the founders who are on a video conference, and the other member exactly told the members of the founders that their goals are quietly, highly begin to actually take phase, and the next step of their plan will highly begin to evolve in a very much of a sinister plan, meaning the progress of their planning has really begun taking phase already. And Greenman was very sadistically happy as he and Ghostmaster and the other operative of the founders was remaining with the other member who was not quietly present within the video conference, exactly were completely happy that the crystal has highly began its greater singular regenerative process in the aftermaking of its greater own. Within the after that video conference on the 25th of February, Greenman exactly remained within the shadows after all the months have quietly passed due to the founders exactly telling him that their plans have successfully exactly taken place and that they really managed to orchestrate heavily greater events and all of that in the process due to their plans being disrupted and all of that. On the 25th of July, on the 25th of July, Green Man exactly is hologram, Green Man exactly holographic, Green Man is exactly actual projection of himself, of him, like his true self, wearing the jacket and all of that and everything else was actually able to be presented, was actually remained in the Astro prison cell when the other members of the Universal Heroes began to ask where Greenman's true location and presence were exactly presented. Professor Wall exactly showed a very much of a different video footage that Greenman was still present in his cell, as the members of the Universal Heroes began to be highly skeptical that was exactly still the real Green Man, but they still began to see that was still actually the real Green Man, not exactly unknown to them. That was exactly just a holographic hologram, just able to imitate that the real Grey Man wasn't exactly in the Astro prison. On the 15th of November, the members of the Universal Heroes were quietly walking to the ancient ice mountains, trying to investigate one of the supervillains operatives known as Fire Dragon, who is after all who is she after all? Who is she after all? Is Firebird's sister, who is after all Firebird's sister, which some of you exactly know her. Despite that, Fire Dragon exactly told the Universal Heroes that she just exactly lured them as a bait in order for them to be successfully killed and for them to be successfully removed out of the way permanently, until Green Man exactly revealed themselves and told the Universal Heroes that they had enough of their interference and enough of their plans being thwarted, and that the mighty big bad masters and big bad lords and masters and leaders have great formidable orders that have been ordered from above to the top, that the Universal Heroes must be exterminated, and that they had enough of the interference, that they pose too much greater of a nuisance, and that they must be fully exterminated. Regardless of that, the assassins and the mercenaries were heavily equipped with destructive and highly compatible Shadow Empire technology that was quietly still supplied to the organization's operatives, and also as well to the associates as well. Despite regardless of the last, the Universal Heroes realized that they were quietly outmatched, and they decided to fight the forces that were quietly able to ambush them, and they fought up against them until Universal Magical exactly binded Green Man and literally binded his mouth and shut up his mouth, and literally binded his mouth and shut up his mouth, and the remaining forces of evil were literally captured and apprehended and were all forced to be re-condemned into the Astro prison, which is designed to house super criminals and super villains as well in the process. Over the following months have passed since Green Man has been apprehended and sentenced to the Astro prison, and he's been able to remain there since then. On the 27th of January, Green Man exactly found a way to liberate himself secretly from the Astro prison, thanks to Professor Wall, who is a secretive member, who is a high-ranking member of an ancient, powerful secret society of supervillain, and as well as the ancient secret society of supervillains organization known as the Founders, was able to facilitate Green Man's secretive release from the Astro prison, and was able to be released to carry out the secretive orders that the big bad masters have ordered him to carry out in full secrecy. On the 19th of February, Green Man exactly convened with the Shadow Empire warlord and commanders on a powerful, different, sinister dark crystal temple, where he told them that the founders still exactly suspect the technology to be transported and to be heavily delivered to them as part of their deal and as part of the agreement and the pact that they all exactly made. The Shadow Empire warlords and commanders reassured Green Man that the plan will still go on accordingly and that the deal still remains the same, and that they'll always keep the end of the bargain as always, and they'll always honor the deal and the agreement that they quietly made, and that they'll always exactly remain the same. And they know that the founders will also as well deliver the end of the bargain, and will also deliver part of the end of the bargain, which they always have, and they'll always respect it. And Green Man seemed very quietly reassured of that as well. On the 15th of March, Green Man exactly was able to meet up with the enforcer of the Order of the Five on a secretive base of location, who is known as Stillface, where Stillface was able to tell him that the members of the Order of the Five expect his greatest heavily assistance on a very different problem, that they might actually require his systematic strategist and his highly great skill of organizing and manipulating events to their advantage. Green Man happily obliged, and that is exactly what he'll do, as long as he'll be able to give the galactic powers to the members of the founders and to the members of the Order of the Five, which he aggressively will always exactly serve and work for, do, because he shares utmost greater respect of these greater powerful supreme masters and leaders of their own respective organization, and as well of their own respective ancient secret society groups, which he quietly has able to gain tremendous respect of as well. And Stillface seemed very completely happy about that as well. On the on the actual 16th of November, Green Man exactly revealed himself with another group of powerful noted knights and mercenaries of assassins, and this time he told the Universal founders that he is going to get rid of them, and he's going to specifically remove them out of the way. Orders that come from the top of the great Dark Masters, who exactly wanted the Universal founders to be heavily removed out of the way and to be disposed of effective immediately. The Universal founders and the other members of the allies realized that they were quietly set to an ambush, and they decided to fight the mercenaries and the operatives of the great Dark Masters in order to literally take them down and in order to effectively remove them out of the way, which they exactly did. Green Man was quietly apprehended again for the second time, and this time he was sentenced to the Astral Prison to remain there in custody for his crimes against the Sacred World. He and the rest of the other operatives and the other mercenaries were quietly sentenced into the Astral Prison to remain in custody for their crimes against the Sacred World and against humanity as well. On the 27th of May, Green Man was quietly visited by the Shadow Empire warlord, who came to the Astral Prison cells, in full secrecy, and exactly told them that the transportation of the destructive technology will still continue the way it was planned. It will still remain the same. And Green Man seemed very happy that the preparations are still set the way they are meant to be. On the 15th of August, Green Man was completely secretly released from his imprisonment, from the Astral Prison's confinement, secretly again, still under the current watch of Professor Wolf, who still secretly facilitated his release again, managed to make sure that his greater projection of Green Man's real self remained the same way, but this time was quietly replaced by a robotic android of himself, as a duplicate android of himself, in order to maintain the facade and the pretense of the real Green Man, who was still out and released to the real world and into the real universe as well, to create chaos and havoc and destruction again. On the 27th of September, Green Man exactly returned to an ancient, dark, misty cave, which was a very powerful dark secretive base of a headquarters where he secretly exactly attended a meeting of the one of the most powerful, shadowy, dangerous, submissive, as in literally submissive, ancient super criminals who are unknown to Four-Nation Hunter history, and especially to the sacred, especially to sacred history's greatest wars and event, who presented themselves in the shadowy astral projection of themselves in order to conceal their identities and themselves as well in the process, but their eyes remain the same, but the shadowy projection was enough, was literally completely enough in order, was literally completely enough to change the appearance of their body, but their eyes still remain the same. The members of the organization exactly told Greenman that he done a very much of a marvelous job and a very much of a greater job serving the members of the Order of the Five and the members of the founders, who completely exactly saw his dedication and his greater services to the organization. And Greenman exactly told the mysterious shadowy projections of the ancient super criminals he exactly would do it again in a heartbeat, since he realizes that the organization's goals are very, very important to him and to the rest of his confederates and to the rest of his associates and his operatives who also share the same belief and are willing to make sure they're willing to make sure to actually make sure to facilitate it and to make sure that the goals and the long-term plans of the organization successfully bears fruit, no matter what. Despite this, the other astral projection of the super criminal told Greenman that in doing so, they've decided that it's best that he remains the operative and the associate of the Order of the Five and of the members of the founders, which is very crucial that he plays his part as well. And so did the other shadowy astral projection, and so did the other shadowy of the astral projection of the other member began to agree that it's best that he remains the associate of those ancient secret societies and of those ancient secret society groups, which is very crucial because Greenman's purpose and mission is about to be realized sooner rather than later. And for that, they decided to provide him a secretive, powerful crystal headquarters of his own. Greenman exactly told the powerful, shadowy astral projection of the most dangerous ancient super criminals that he doesn't need the private base or a headquarters when he really has that under control. All he needs right now is to lay low and is to carry out the plan that the founders have already planned, and managed to actually proceed on according to plan, which is very crucial for it to actually take place. Despite that, the four shadowy astral projections of one of the most dangerous ancient submissive criminals respected Greenman's choices and always told him that if he ever needs any base of operations or secretive bases of operation, they'll be happily to literally oblige. They'll be happily easily to oblige him, and they'll be happily easily to acquire, literally give him the secretive bases of headquarters for him to operate from. And Greenman exactly told them that he graciously exactly respects it as well. On the on the actual 20th of October, Greenman exactly returned into the powerful dark crystal temple where Queen Ivy was quietly exactly waiting for him in person, and exactly told Greenman that they are very, very sadistically happy with his greater orchestration and these greater plans, and that it's time for him to plan the final phase. On the 21 of November, Greenman exactly managed to meet up with the associate of the Order of the Five on the abandoned building on planet Earth, and he exactly tells them that it's time for them to plan their big bad operation, and that the plans must go on the way they're supposed to be. It's the only way to move the world heroes and to kill them once and for all. And the associates and the operatives agreed that what is exactly the plan, and Greenman happily obliged them and telling them that this is the plan. On the 16th of January, Greenman was able to exactly reconvene with the dark and powerful, powerful, formidable magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, on his base of operation, which was one of the abandoned buildings, and he told the leaders of the respective magic users that he acquires their expertise and a greater invaluable talents and abilities to what he's about to do, and they agree to actually provide him that. Regardless of that, guys, Green Man is a very powerful and nihilistic and a sadistic operative and a very dangerous associate of the Order of the Five and of the members of the founders. Very loyal and very trustworthy and very obedient with the organization, with the secret society's secrets and goals, that he manages to keep them to himself as well. Very optimistic, very sadistic. He loves the thrill of orchestrating events. Wars and conflict, especially in organizing ambushes, in order to take care of the universal heroes and of the universal founders, which he views pose a threat to his master's long-term plans as goal. In the process, he's very highly committed to the founders and to the Order of the Five, his goals and plans, and is willing to exactly finalize it. He's willing to facilitate it. He's literally willing to facilitate it in a long way, and he's willing to facilitate it in a long-term plan, which could benefit them in a very most crucial way, to making sure that they remain the sole superior rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of humanity. Very committed to organization's goals and beliefs, and is willing to make sure the two organizations who are known as the most powerful ancient secret society remain in power and in control over humanity, especially over the events and wars and conflicts of the sacred galactic wars and conflicts and wars of the sacred world and of the sacred universes as well. In the actual conflict, very smart and very 12 levelly intellect, bears a super intelligence unlike any other human actually ever has. Very sadistic and very highly committed and very good in organizing powerful events and orchestrating powerful events within the very much of the greater scenes of the shadows of the sacred world, and very highly ruthless, playful, sadistic, relishes in taking down his enemies and the obstacles that pose a threat to the members of the Order of the Five's goals and to the members of the Founders' goals. In the process, he views the universal heroes as a threat to his master's bigger goals and plan, and he's willing to make sure that they are taken down and they are purposely wiped out of the way, especially with their allies such as the Universal Founders, the Universal Defending Heroes, the Universal Space Heroes, and the Universal Magic Heroes, and the Four Nation Hunters of the Intergalactic Coalition. He's willing to see through their demise by orchestrating ambushes and very strategical ambushes in order to take them out, in order to wipe them out of the way. Very sadistic, clever, 12 levelly, bears a 12 level intellect, and very intelligent, very organized, and very smart, and very funny, and very quietly funny, and very quietly aggressive, impatient, very patient, and also very quietly impatient, loves the thrill of organizing events, and loves the thrill of taking out loose ends and wiping out sacred heroes and the universal heroes and the united heroes out of the way, and is willing to do whatever it takes that they're purposely moved out of the way. Very quietly good in maintaining his usual bases, his greater individual bases, especially his central headquarters, which is a very beautiful dark crystal temple, which he uses in order to convene with the operatives of the Order of the Five, or with the operatives of the Founders, and with the allies of the Founders, and with the allies of the Order of the Five, such as the Shadow Empire Warlord and Commanders, which he often exactly meets with them in the behalf of the Order of the Five, or in the behalf of the Founders, which he represents, in order to show the Shadow Empire Warlords and Commanders that the Founders have completely trusted Green Man with the organization's full transportation secrecy of the destructive compatible technology, which they're able to make a secret pact in order for them to give them more worlds, in order for the founders to give them more worlds. In return, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders will supply them with destructive and highly compatible technology. And Green Man is very good in negotiations, very quietly good in negotiations, and very, very well, cleverly, 12 levelly clever. He can see through everything, very open-minded and very, very respectful of the members of the Order of the Five and of the founders who he actually reviews as masters and powerful, formidable leaders who are very powerful and who are very, very great and very, very great and very, very powerful and very sadistic leaders of their own respective secret societies and of their own respective secret societies and as well as their own respective secret organizations as well. He also manages to gain the respect of the other sinister, shadowy, ancient, of the other sinister, shadowy, ancient groups of super submissive criminals, which he was able to exactly tell them that his loyalties are still to the founders and are still to the Order of the Five and are also still to them. But regardless of that, he's very loyal to them, and he also quietly views them as powerful leaders and powerful shadowy monsters, and he also provides them with these greater services, with these greater services and his greater expertise in order to tell them that he'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the most powerful masters remain in control over humanity and over the known universe, especially over the known, especially over the unknown hidden universe known as a sacred universe, and also the hidden world known as a sacred world, which quietly coexists and resides within humanity as well, which he able to reassure them that he will give them total control over those worlds. And he knows very well that the sacred world and the sacred universe must remain a secret from humanity, and he's very good in keeping the secret conflicts of the sacred world's wars totally of a secret, and as well as the sacred universe's wars and conflicts are totally of a secret. And he's very good in keeping the Order of the Five's organization secrecy, the Order of the Five secrets, the organization's secrets, and the secret society secrets to himself, and as well the members of the founders secrets, and as well the members of the founders secrets and the organization secrets to himself as well, and as well the other ancient groups and as well the other ancient shadowy groups of criminal organizations secrets and plans to himself, which he very well knows well to respect that, and also keeps it to himself, despite what the universal heroes might do to him in order to get the answers, or what the most powerful, dangerous masterminds are planning, and how far are they willing to go with their plans and with their goal. He's very loyal, very, very powerful super strategist, and very highly unlikely, not meant to be underestimated. Very clever, 12 level intellect, very good with science, with greater technology, good with working with the other operatives, good working with the other super criminals and operatives who are also the operatives of the Order of the Five, and who are also the operatives of the founders as well, and such with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, very quietly good with working with them, and he quietly respects them and quietly admires them, since they're able to honor part of the deal and part of the pact that they made with the two ancient, powerful, secret organization known as the Order of the Five and the founders as well. Very good and very clever, 12 level intellect. He also works with the most powerful dark magic users, such as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, and he quietly, tremendously respects them, and he's willing to provide them with greater expertise, with greater knowledge. In return, they supply him with greater expertise and greater destructive, compatible, dark and very powerful, destructive and highly advanced integrated technology that is combined with destructive magic and powerful dark crystal, which they were able to integrate and combining it with a powerful dark magical powers and a greater dark expertise. And he's very loyal to the two ancient secret organizations, the founders and the Order of the Five. He believes in the organization's goals and philosophy, and is willing to make sure that their plans successfully bear fruit, especially their long-term plans and their future plans of remaining the sole superior rulers of the known universe and of the rest of the sacred world, and of the rest of the sacred universe as well. Very good 12 level intellect, studied so much about the sacred world's hidden wars and conflicts. He knows about the monsters of the dark dimension, very optimistic, and he keeps the secrets to himself and to the rest of the operatives as well, who also do the exact same thing to themselves because they learned the hard way that the universal heroes and the allies are too deadly and are too dangerous not to be taken lightly. And they know that since they fought against them, since they literally fought against them, their first encounter and their previous encounter. Very optimistic, key-minded, and open-minded, and sharp in thinking, and very good in improvisation. Well then guys, that's it for today's episode. I'll actually see you tomorrow on Thursday. Have a blessed day and a very much of a great day indeed. And enjoy yourself as well. Superly grateful for your guys' support and superly grateful for your guys' support as well. Completely means the universe to me. And may you please continue to stay with me on my journey, and I'll stay with you on your guys' journey, which I'm also rooting for you guys as well. Despite that, guys, enjoy your day and have a blessed afternoon. And today's episode is Green Man, the supervillain, and also an associate of the founders. That's today's episode. See you tomorrow and take care of yourself and love you, and may God bless you and have a blessed long week. I'll see you tomorrow on Thursday, which will be the last day, but next week, Monday, we'll be going full forward on until Friday. So enjoy yourself and take care. Love you and have a great, blessed evening and afternoon. Bye. Bye.